know if you ever really overcome it, to be real. I wish I could give you a quote or a book that I read that was like, yep, now I'm going to overcome fear. We are both in ourselves and with each other. We just have learned that it's the fabric. It's baked into the cake. And anything in life, fear is going to be baked into the cake. And so it's not like a surprise anymore. It's not, it's always going to be scary. Fear it's the thing, because sometimes when we look too far in the future, that's when fear really gets us and takes over our, just creates that angst in us. If we look in the past too far, it creates this fear of like shame or guilt or I wish I would have. And so we've learned to be more present. I know that's kind of a cliche, so to speak, but it's truth. If you stay more present, I find that like fear and you're like, okay, this is just part of the journey of everything in life that we've ever experienced. And here's what I know, when you get through it though, that the only testimony you're gonna have is when you go through that fear and you come out on the other side, then you have a great testimony. Otherwise you won't. Nobody wants to see you on a stage or hear you on a podcast, or you can call your best friend and they're asking for advice. No one wants, if you're still in the muck and the mire of it and you're like, yeah, me too, but I didn't get through it. Like, what is your message? You're never going to have that message. And so, you're always going to have fear. You're always going to, but again, we know with our faith that everything always works out for good. It's always better than expected. It's going to take so many twists and turns. You're like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't see that one coming. And so we have to always constantly remind ourselves and remember, like, oh yeah, we can't figure this out. We're just going to go through it like we always have. Sometimes way harder than others. But on the other side, we're like, oh, that was really interesting. And then it just gives you that confidence that fear is part of the, like I said, kind of baked into the cake, so to speak.
Yeah, everybody has it. There's just no getting away from it. It's not like we're here because we just went through the fear instead of letting fear dictate what we did with our life. And it's when you're worried about what everybody else thinks, it's a fear and it just stops you. And then you try to sidestep fear when all your strength and all your story, your testimony, how you're going to impact other people's lives, all the great things that happened to you in your life are all because you took that adventure and you went through the fear and you didn't try to sidestep it. But those are the things, those are the times where you get through, where you can look back and it brings you self-image and self-confidence that you went through that, and you can go through, and now I can teach from that platform for the rest of my life and help normalize that everybody has fear, and it's what you do with it that is going to shift you in one direction or another.
Yeah, that's true.